I'm Sheila Brummer with Siouxland Public Media News. A major change in Iowa state government is now law and causing some concern. Governor Kim Reynolds signed her nearly 1,600-page government reorganization plan into law on Tuesday. It reduces the number of state agencies from 37 to 16. The governor says it will save the state around $200 million. But Democrats and some state workers worry about what it means for employees that will be moved to other departments. They also worry about benefits Iowans will lose from this consolidation. Blind Iowans have pushed back on the plan, in which the governor would be in charge of appointing a director for the Iowa Department for the Blind. Currently, the Iowa Commission for the Blind appoints the director. Blind Iowans are worried that the change would make their department political and leave their voices out of the process. Nebraska Governor Jim Pillen's office announced the immediate resignation of one of his cabinet members today. Tony Goines, the director of the Nebraska Department of Economic Development, has stepped down. Goines' sudden departure comes days after a recent article in the Nebraska Examiner. It tied an invitation to a November political campaign event for State Senator Suzanne Geist's Lincoln mayoral run at a cigar lounge he owned to his official government email. The online news publication also raised other conflict of interest questions tied to Goines' business, including the distribution of small business grants using pandemic-related funds. Meanwhile, Senator Geist announced she is resigning from the legislature to focus on her campaign to become the next mayor of Lincoln. Governor Pillen plans to announce the appointment of a new state senator to represent District 25 at a news conference planned for tomorrow afternoon. 3 Siouxland projects have each been awarded $750,000 in economic recovery funding, according to a recent announcement from the Nebraska Department of Economic Development. The Sioux City Journal reports the Center for Rural Affairs, the Winnebago Tribe of Nebraska, and City of South Sioux City are among 14 recipients receiving a total of $10 million in American Rescue Plan Act state and local financial recovery funds. The Nebraska Department of Economic Development received applications for 30 projects totaling more than $30 million in requests. Dordt University received a $75,000 grant. The money will be used to develop an accelerated online master's degree for STEM teaching. Officials with the school say there is a shortage of teachers in STEM disciplines. A federal appeals court dismissed a challenge that Louisiana and other Republican-leaning states, including South Dakota, filed against a Biden administration environmental policy. The decision today leaves in place the administration's formula for calculating damages to people and the environment from greenhouse gas emissions, a factor in developing regulations. A federal judge in Louisiana ordered a halt to the administration's approach early last year, but the Fifth U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals in New Orleans blocked the judge's order, and the Supreme Court declined to intervene. Last week, the appeals court threw out the case, saying the challenging states have not shown that regulations have caused them harm. The felony assault case against former Nebraska interim head coach and assistant Mickey Joseph was dismissed. That's because the alleged victim refuses to testify. Joseph had faced a charge of assault by strangulation or suffocation in connection with a November domestic disturbance at a home in Lincoln. The alleged victim now lives in Arizona and said in an email she would not testify. A law enforcement officer also unsuccessfully attempted 7 times to serve the subpoena, compelling the alleged victim to appear. For Siouxland Public Media News, I'm Sheila Brummer. Have a wonderful Wednesday afternoon, and thanks for listening and supporting your local public radio station. You can always tell your smart speaker to play KWIT.